What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global here with another video, and a lot of you already heard about this. This is a move that happened yesterday. Was not able to make a video about it at the time, but here we are, just about 24 hours later into this move, and it might be a little good. So I got time to really think about this, really digest it, and so yeah, the Panthers have signed former Patriots wide receiver Chris Hogan to a one-year deal. Now, as of right now, we do not know what the terms of this contract are when it comes to money. All we know is that this is a one-year deal, and it will say a lot about how the Patriots felt about Chris Hogan when we actually figure out the money that Chris Hogan is making during this 1 year. As we all know, before the start of this past season, the Patriots started contract negotiations with Hogan. Both parties were on two totally separate pages, and I guess it just kind of got put on hold throughout the season. Now you get to the end of the regular season, end of the Super Bowl, and the Patriots start contract negotiations again with Chris Hogan. Both sides obviously wanted to come to an agreement. Both sides were still far off, but were closer than they were before, but still nothing had gotten done. And then you hear about all these teams are interested in Chris Hogan. Now, there was no list of teams that actually dropped, but it was said that well over 20 teams were interested in signing Chris Hogan. Now, because of that, I fully expected Chris Hogan to go week 1, week 2 at the latest of free agency. You're a month past free agency, and Chris Hogan's still not signed. No one's talking about Chris Hogan. No one's bringing Chris Hogan in for workouts. The only team that was said to be interested was the Giants, but they didn't bring him in for a workout. They didn't try to start contract negotiations with him. So that's when I really started to think, that's when I made my video about maybe the Patriots can bring Chris Hogan back. But obviously that video doesn't matter that much now, as he can't be a Patriot. Hogan is the receiver he is today because of the Patriots, because of Bill Belichick, because of Tom Brady, and Chris Hogan knows that. Chris Hogan was a Buffalo Bill before, a lacrosse player nobody knew about, but because of the Patriots, he is where he is today. He had well over 20 teams supposedly interested in him, and he has won 2 Super Bowls because of the Patriots. They turned him in from a nobody into a playmaker of a somebody. With that being said, his first year with the Patriots was dominant. Chris Hogan was going off. He was really a big contributor, pretty much the top contributor when the Patriots were facing the Steelers in the AFC Championship game to extend to Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons. You move on to the next season, and Julian Edelman is out the entire season. Chris Hogan was going to step up. He needed to step up. And he did not necessarily have the season that he did before, but he still had a pretty nice season before getting injured. He missed a good amount of games because of an injury that kept him out. He came back. Just wasn't necessarily Chris Hogan. I don't think any of us can agree that we saw the same Chris Hogan before he got injured. And then you look at this past season with Chris Hogan, and it was just extremely disappointing. A lot of people feel that Chris Hogan didn't get the opportunity to really shine. He wasn't set up for success. But you look at preseason, Chris Hogan got snaps. Chris Hogan was dropping easy balls, and you can't do that with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to lose his trust in you. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're going to start dropping balls, he's going to lose confidence and not go to you. Julian Edelman is then suspended for the first 4 games of the season. That is when you, Chris Hogan, get plugged in to that number 1, number 2 wide receiver, and you didn't take advantage of that. The Patriots set you up for full success on that point. I mean, that was destiny for you, and you didn't do anything to really prove yourself for those first 4 games. So we really can't complain there. But I'm not going to really knock on Chris Hogan, for the whole season, because he did have some nice plays. He had that really nice play against the Steelers, although the Patriots lost. He had that really nice one-handed catch versus the Chiefs that really did help reset downs and ultimately get the Patriots to the Super Bowl. But it's just so much inconsistency with Chris Hogan, and they call him 7-Eleven, a guy that's supposed to always be open. I feel like I rarely saw him getting open, but I will say, in part of Chris Hogan's defense, there was times that we have seen him get open and Tom Brady just not throw the ball to him. Now, did he throw the ball to him because he didn't trust him, or did he genuinely not see him? I don't know. I'm not Tom Brady. But I will forever remember one play where I believe it was James White that goes up the seam, and then you had Chris Hogan going down the field. Chris Hogan was wide open. You could throw it to Chris Hogan, easy touchdown, but I believe Tom Brady just dumped it off to James White. Now, I could be wrong. It might not have been James White, but I distinctly remember that Brady did an easy dump off instead of throwing it downfield to a touchdown open Chris Hogan. And I had already had some discussions with a couple of people, and a lot of people were upset. They're like, they needed to sign Chris Hogan. Like, it doesn't matter if he was inconsistent. He was there, now and then when we needed a big play or a big down. But he wasn't, though. He wasn't there a lot of the times. A lot of times it would have been Gronk or it would have been Edelman. Did he make some plays on crucial downs? Yes, but you cannot give a guy that much money for being that inconsistent and also maybe now and then making a play. Now, again, we will learn a lot more about how the Patriots would really feel when we know how much Chris Hogan is actually making. Was he offered more than the Patriots would have offered him? Or did the Patriots just not really want him anymore? Or did Chris Hogan just choose not to go to the Patriots? Which I feel isn't really what was up. I mean, you're playing with Tom Brady. You've been here for how many years? Your family's grown up here. It wouldn't really make much sense for him to leave. Chris Hogan actually had a conference call, and he pretty much said that he can't really read too much into the signing. He can't read much into the Patriots not signing him because at the end of the day, they're trying to run the team the way they see fit. Sometimes things just don't work out, and he said that he understands that. He says, I'm just really excited about the opportunity that the Panthers have given me. I'm really excited to get to work. So from the sounds of that, and if anybody has seen this picture of Chris Hogan signing with the Panthers, he looks so miserable. This guy looks like he can barely smile. Like, you can tell that he just doesn't want to be there. He's upset that he isn't a Patriot. And from his words, you can tell he wanted to be a Patriot, but the Patriots just were not budging with him. Hogan will be 32 in October, and he caught 107 passes for 1,651 yards and 12 touchdowns over his last 3 seasons with the Patriots. He then tacked on an additional 34 receptions for 542 yards and 4 touchdowns in the postseason, and a lot of that came from that Steelers game. Hogan originally signed a 3-year, $12 million contract with the Patriots back in 2016, and he caught 35 passes for 532 yards and 3 touchdowns over the course of those 16 games in that first regular season he played with the Patriots. I will be very curious to see how Chris Hogan actually does with a totally different setup type of team. You have Cam Newton, not a pocket passer, a guy who likes to run a lot. Their offensive line definitely is not what the Patriots is. But they kind of are in somewhat of the same position the Patriots are in. They do not have much depth at wide receiver. So, I mean, in the end, it's a good move Panthers-wise. So if there's any Panthers fans here, I think this was a good pickup for you guys. This late into free agency, there's not much better wide receivers that you can get. So you picked up a decent one, a guy that can definitely play. It just depends on your scheme. It all depends on if Cam Newton is actually going to throw the ball or just run the whole time. But ultimately, how Chris Hogan's chemistry connects back with the Panthers. Patriots fans, do not go hating on Chris Hogan. In the end, it's just as much the Patriots' fault as it would be Chris Hogan's. So, in the end, it's a business. This is the stuff that happened. Thank you, Chris Hogan, for everything you've done for the Patriots. Just unbelievable, what he has done for the Patriots, coming in as a nobody, turning into a somebody, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Thank you, Chris Hogan. So that is it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on this video? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe, as it helps me, the channel, and even you guys out very, very, very much. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody you know so that we can grow the Patriots global family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.
In Astro World.